bitches!
Sup viewer. Today we will be discussing one of the most meaty, juicy, sexy, just perfect game modes in this game. Sorry for the glaze, it's just this game mode is really good and I'm sick of my randoms being so horrible at this rather simple game mode and leaving the moment 4 exolizers vanish or the group is just ass. Therefore this video will be made, regardless if there's other people who made a video on this exact topic. Let me get started then. The legendary game mode Void Cascade. Void Cascade is considered the hardest game mode within Warframe for various reasons. The intense scaling of the enemies, the quick pacing of the game mode and the Thrax enemies and just the amount of ads that will spawn around you. Now to be honest, when I first did this game mode I really didn't know what was happening, to be very honest with you. In fact I was that random who did little to nothing, to be honest, which honestly to the teammates I've ever played with for the first time, I am sorry. Anyway, to maybe understand why it's sometimes hard for some people, I'll explain what it consists of. To start, there will be a unique objective that will tell you to purge the exolizers. Exolizers are these small orb-looking things with an energy surrounding it, that will be your primary objective. You will defend these things from Thrax enemies as they will cause it to enter a state of possession. Possession will make the bar you will see on the top left begin to turn blue. The more blue the higher the chance of it filling up and following the mission. Now when you do fail, you won't completely fail it, you'll keep your stuff, but it's like survival. When you fail, you just won't progress anymore. However, to stop them from turning the bar fully blue on the top left, use your operator to destroy the Thrax possessing the exolizer, and then keep it cleansed, to further increase the bar from becoming blue. Kill enemies within the exolizer's range so you can keep the blue effect down for more exolizers to spawn. It should be the first thing you learn, considering it's literally told to you by Quinn, constantly. So, to attempt to understand the loop of the game mode, enter whatever room the exolizer will be in, cleanse the exolizers, kill enemies within said exolizers to remove the blue tinge and buy you time, then just kill things and wait for the Thrax to appear and wait for the next exolizer. Now this is pretty simple on paper, so you know D has to make it interesting. So these exolizers spawn in predetermined spots similar to a certain game mode of wasted potential. Anyway, they will always spawn in these spots and there can be at most 5 up. But if you have too many possessed exolizers, you will fail the mission pretty fast. So you will absolutely need to keep up, as they can spawn within 30 seconds within one another and can easily stack. Now, dear viewer, you might be so curious as to why it's so odd for me to point out how often people seem to fail this mission. To take a guess, is it maybe because 1, the teammates I have never are focused on the objective and are too busy doing irrelevant shit like collecting void plumes? Or maybe they're just so bad at the game they join the mission with the most irrelevant trash I've ever seen. Like, why are you here with some level 10 gun and a barely functional build on your warframe? I'll give you time to answer. If you said yes to all of this, you are correct. Now, please don't be like those types of people. If you are, I'm going to hunt you down and really feed you alive to my fucking pelmith. Now, what you should strive to be, is a teammate who actually focuses on the objective. Now on the mission, there are usually 2 roles, attacker and defender. These 2 roles are what are required in this game mode and what you should decide which to do. Now you can evenly split it in 2 since there's 4 members in a squad. Now that we know the 2 roles, let me discuss what one of the roles will be tasked with. Attackers will go out and seek out the newly spawned exolizers. They will always be on the move and ready to secure the exolizers almost immediately. Some tips for attackers I would give are: look at your partner you're attacking with to somewhat keep up with when to go out there. Constantly be looking at the top left of your screen to see when the next exolizer will spawn, and try to remember the spawn locations, as once they spawn, you can start pre-rotating the moment you see the opportunity. And a big thing attackers should always have, is an extremely busted amp. I'll show the gear you need later, but a very good amp will absolutely be needed on both roles. Anything other than a mode amp will help your team dearly. Now switching sides, let's discuss defenders and their duties. Defenders are tasked with basically cleaning up after the attackers 1, leave or 2, go out and do their own jobs. While defenders are defending, you will stop any Thrax Centurions from possessing any leftover cleansed exolizers, and just help with keeping the meter down by killing stuff in the bubble. Again, this is very simple on paper, but with 4 people and a bunch of stuff it feels quite overwhelming sometimes, and the sometimes in my opinion for people still learning is almost all the time. Again, don't fret for if you have a 4 stack, You should have someone helping you plenty with defending. Tips for defenders I have are, always look for Thrax Centurions, even if they are not seemingly around. They tend to spawn in corners of the exolizers and their spawns seem random, but I'm unsure about it, just know, it's very sporadic. Another tip for the defenders is to try to kill stuff in the circle the exolizers have, as killing them outside is easier, but it's not really helpful in buying as much time. And for my most important tip, for people doing either one of these roles is, if the bar is close to filling up, focus on purging exolizers as fast as you can. I say this as this is a very efficient way of buying time, because as long as there is no possessed exolizers up, you should be able to kill stuff in the circle to buy time. And to repeat, when the mission starts, everyone will be together in this 2 defender, 2 attacker setup. All 4 of you will be purging and killing stuff. The moment a possessed exolizer spawns, the 2 attackers will immediately move out and cleanse the other exolizers. The 2 defenders will continue their job and will wait out the exolizers timer before they expire, and soon the next exolizers will spawn. Defenders will be there with attackers for a bit and soon the next set of exolizers will spawn. If you did this right with your 4 stack, good job! Now you can do 3 attackers 1 defender or 3 defenders or 1 attacker, but only do this when you know your team is capable. Now, for the gear part, I'd start with the warframes, for this is the most important part to succeed. A warframe that's unfortunately good to start with is Revenant. Very boring choice, I know, but he's so perfect it's not even funny. For Void Cascade you need all the survivability you can get, since so much is going to be happening when doing Void Cascade. So if you want brain dead easy survivability, just use Mesmer Skin, and honestly just subsume this 4 off if you want a perfect Revenant. Another frame I'd suggest is maybe Octavia, or Ash. The thing in common with these 2, is the fact they go invisible. Invisibility in Warframe tends to mean invincibility. And these frames are good to start off with, then maybe just switch to someone you like playing. For example, I like playing Zephyr and she basically has really good survivability, so learn with the frames I stated, or don't. And once you're done learning, switch to whatever you want to learn. A shield gate to do well with a frame with lacking survivability or might be considered a squishy frame. Now for your killing stuff, I'll make this fast. Using any high single target weapon like Felrax, Dual Toxis with an Incarnate added with a Scourge can absolutely shred any Thrax with ease. If you don't have that though, just use a decent single target like in my opinion Strun Prime or Sybaris with an Incarnate. Sorry if the choices I'm putting here aren't very good, I haven't played in a while to be very honest with you. Now for your melee, mostly anything works, but if you want to be super duper safe, just use a /viral build and you should be good. To try and have a prime or at least one to proc gun CO or melee co aka condition overload. For pets, again since they've been buffed a lot seems to work, but to be safe, Panzerval, Durja, certain hounds if you're so daring, and that's about it. Well, now that you have some information to do Void Cascade, you better get to it. Again, try to get into pre-made groups if you want to go far in this game mode, but do not practice in a pre-made group, simply go into a public Void Cascade lobby to see what works and what doesn't. If you watched this video fully, thanks! I promise for 2025 to not slack as hard as I have been for a while. And if you can't, follow my TikTok and stuff. Thank you! And have a good day, or a bad day. Choice is yours.